Madam Mayor.
I'll come to you, Councillor Gartner, after Councillor Levitt.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm more than pleased to support this motion, and with the changes that Councillor Guile implemented with the adding of the words fenced, I think it's fundamentally important, as Councillor Guile does, that we send this message out to not only the people of the Shoalhaven. It's a very contentious issue. It has the potential to polarise the community, really. But we also need to send the message to our visitors that come down here too, that it's not open slather when you bring your dog. We've got areas we need to protect. We've got beaches that we need to keep clean, which is a big issue with dogs. If you go to Nelson's Beach, for instance, any afternoon, it's total mayhem. And when I go there, I would not take my grandkids to that beach. I'd be too fearful of what might befall them. The Companion Animals Act describes off-leash as still being under control. So technically, every person with their dog off-leash on a beach should be able to whistle them back and make them stand at their feet. I defy just about any owner with a dog off-leash on a beach in the Shoalhaven to be able to do that when asked to by a ranger. So I also note that in the poll that was conducted through our website there, 70% were not in favour of dogs, more dog leash, off-leash areas. So, with those remarks, yeah, I'm happy to support it, and I'm really glad that it's going up, and if it sends a message out there that we will consider any amount of dog off-leash areas if they're fenced, and we have a duty to do that because people are entitled to exercise their dogs, but not, in my opinion, are they entitled to do it on beaches. Thank you.
Councillor Gartner.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. If I may have a question through you to Mrs. Lewis, please.
Certainly.
Mrs. Lewis, you meant the point one of the recommendation that you've put forward to the council mentions habitat and nesting sites for threatened shorebirds. Will you be consulting with the Save Our Species shorebird volunteers and the Milton National Parks Association when you do your consultation? Both of those groups would certainly have valuable input into where a suitable location for a fenced dog off-leash exercise area would be that would not have impact on those, obviously our threatened shorebirds, but also other areas where dogs, loud barking animals should be avoided. Will you be taking that into account? Do we need to add that to the notice of motion?
Through you, Madam Mayor, we will seek to consult as widely as possible. So we're more than happy to include the organisations there that you note, Councillor Gartner, and ensure that they have the opportunity to make a submission as part of that process.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Gartner, do you have any contributions to the debate?
No, I think that I'm supportive of Councillor Giles and Councillor Levitt's point of view. I think, especially in the Shoalhaven area at the moment, we're actually very aware of the risk to not only our threatened species, but indeed to our residents of dogs off-leash on beaches. And I thoroughly support the recommendation as it's been amended by Councillor White and Councillor Guile. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pakes.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I just want to add, and I think it's been brought up in this chamber before, and this is no offence intended to anyone, but if you visited one of our dog off-leash fenced areas in the city, I can understand why you wouldn't want to stay there. Some of them are not in the best locations, and the condition of them are less than desirable, and I forget which councillor put a motion up, but a councillor put a motion up recently to even ask for the installation of some taps to be able to fill some water bowls in those locations. So if we want people to use these facilities, people to enjoy these facilities, we have to build facilities that people want to visit. People want to visit. And I know Councillor Levitt's brought it forward, and I've also brought it forward in regards to the possible location of the dog off-leash area at Greenwell Point. What a perfect location. What a perfect location. I know a lot of work went into the creation of the dog off-leash park at Milton, but right down the bottom corner of the showground, away from absolutely everything, in my view, is not probably a suitable location. So we need to build our dog off-leash parks in locations that people want to visit, and we need to make them attractive so people also want to visit them, so people don't look for alternatives. The proposal that was brought forward in regards to Jerry Bailey Oval recently is a beautiful location, and people will want to go and want to visit it. I don't disagree with the comment that's been made by, I think, Councillor Levitt and Councillor Proudfoot before. People take their dogs to the beach because they also want to visit the beach, and I don't blame them. Why would you want to go to an area which is in not very good condition or not kept in very well condition when you can take your dog down to the beach and enjoy one of our beautiful locations in the city? So I think it's our responsibility as a council. It's not our staff's responsibility, it's our responsibility. This is the direction that we want our city to move in, so we need to ensure that there's adequate funding and adequate direction for our staff to be able to build and design these facilities so people want to visit them. I think that's our fundamental failure at the moment. We've got these parks that people just simply don't want to go near. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Gile.
Just to clarify the amendments, I thank government staff for inserting fenced into paragraph 3. I wonder if we could insert it into paragraph 2, which is what I asked for initially. You can leave it in paragraph 3 too, but 4, yeah, that's the one. Perfect,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that we are all in furious agreement. So I'm going to come back to you, Councillor White. Do you want the right of reply?
Things. So I agree totally with Councillor Pakes that if we're going to have these areas, not so much the Gate Oval because it has its own committee that will maintain that park over there, and it's being built so the community can maintain it in their plans. But if we're going to put them around the city, then I hope to see in next year's budget and in the next future 10 years budgets maintenance for these parks. So a figure for maintenance in these parks needs to go into the DP and OP to ensure that there is a budget that we can look after it. We look after the roads and we give it a budget. We give all items a budget. So I don't think that we have a dog park budget might be a good idea. Melbourne, so the government in Victoria, they have given allocations of up to $300,000 to install 5 dog parks across the city for people to take their dogs because more people living in apartments, etc., are taking dogs. And I suppose whatever generation that we're coming into, they don't seem to want to have children. A lot of them seem to only just want dogs. So it's going to get it's going to grow. It is really going to grow the number of dogs in the city. I won't go there. But it's important. So, you know, I'm not opposed to bringing a future notice of motion to this council to go to the state government and ask the state government for some funding, as they did in Victoria, to put some of these state-of-the-art parks in the Shoalhaven, because now we have a model, and a model that's been worked through that will work. So I think we need to ask for things. In relation to the fence part of it, don't have a problem as long as it's maintained. I regularly visit them across the Shoalhaven, and I'll start sending people photos of what they look like if we're not going to maintain them.
All right, with that, councillors, I'll put the motion. Is there any dissent? There's none, and that's carried unanimously. Thank you.